Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed members of the public, to this episode of What Can I Still Say Within My Freedom of Speech, given the latest developments in Republican US, in the light of the recent removal from planet Earth of a certain bigot and narrow-minded Republican fanatic, stuck up President Trump's rectum so far that only his little feet still were visible. Warning! This content may contain traces of sarcasm and satire, two elements of humor that your average Republican Trump fanatic would probably not understand, and for that group, I have the following piece of valuable advice. Visit another YouTube channel full of your favorite bigotry and hatred on anything not Republican, and leave the rest of us alone, something you're not particularly good at. For the rest of us, this content has been designed to be educational and a bit of fun at the same time, and very relevant in terms of exploring the art of what we can still say. If we don't follow this invaluable advice, we too may find ourselves in situations where we get arrested, or the sack, or something else terrible may happen, and as will often become the case in the future, ignorance or even innocence will not be allowed as robust mechanism for your defense. To help us find the correct answer of whether we can say any of the statements we will be exploring, we welcome into the studio our very special guest, His Trumpness, personal aide to President Trump. As we all know, President Trump evidently often lacks the skills to think for himself, judging by what he utters regularly. Thus, we are delighted to learn that his Trumpness is crucial in helping Trump make decisions and think. We will be going through a series of statements, and I kindly request you, good viewers, to write down your own answers on a postcard as to whether you think it's okay to make the statement shown or whether you can't say it. His Trumpness will then guide us to the definitive answer by either calling out,
"That's okay,"
or by stating,
"You are a rude, terrible person."
okay, let's go. Here is the first statement. Charlie Kirk spewed hate and racism on his show. At the end of the day, you answer to God and speak things into existence. 2 seconds, ladies and gentlemen, to write down your answer. 1, 2, time's up, and let's hear from His Trumpness the final verdict.
You are a rude, terrible person.
Okay, that clears that one. The quote has been taken from an employee at the US Secret Service where his security clearance was revoked. Don't mess with the Secret Service, folks, especially not if Trump has them in his pocket. Next. Staff at a US office stationery company refusing to print posters for a Kirk vigil. Is this acceptable? 2 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. 1, 2, time's up, and let's hear from His Trumpness the final verdict.
You are a rude, terrible person.
Next. Call them out, and hell, call their employer, when asked what he suggested with regards to people celebrating the Charlie Kirk's killing. 2 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. 1, 2, time's up, and let's hear from His Trumpness the final verdict.
That's okay.
Clear guidance there about a statement made by Trump's partner in crime, Vice Honcho Vance, who talks about civility, a virtue he clearly lacks when it comes to his demands on people that think differently, even if they at least think, which cannot be claimed by Vance.
You are a rude, terrible person.
Yes, thank you for pointing that out, His Trumpness. Next. I made the statement in another video the other day. I won't lose a tear for Kirk's death, and why would I? Or something to that extent. Watch my other video for the full statement. 2 seconds, ladies and gentlemen, and 1, 2. His Trumpness, may we have your verdict, please?
You are a rude, terrible person.
That clears that one up. Next. The Department of Education is to cut off every dime to any school or university that refuses to retaliate against employees making insensitive posts about Kirk. 2 seconds. 1, 2, and His Trumpness.
That's okay.
The statement was made by deranged Nancy Mace in South Carolina, clearly not aware that and could affect her traditional voters if she closes schools or underfunds them, as they will no longer be able to receive any education. Oh, wait, that could actually work to her advantage. And I'm not just referring to citizens on normal salaries. Next, Musk has called out Microsoft CEO on X, formerly known as the Twats Network, Twitter, in response to an unverified, but then who cares, claim that some employees at a subsidiary company had posted comments trashing Kirk. My statement for consideration is as follows. Go F yourself, Microsoft. 2 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. 1, 2, and his Trumpness.
You are a rude, terrible person.
I was kind of expecting that, given that US industry has made pretty much a 180 degrees turn to fall in Trump's favor since he was elected, so no real surprises there. Next, shooting is honestly too good for so many of you fascists. 2 seconds again, and 1, 2. His Trumpness, where do we stand with that statement made under freedom of speech?
You are a rude, terrible person.
Okay. Clearly there are two measures for freedom of speech. The Musk version, designed to entice right-wing fueled parts of the population to ultimately vote for right-wing extremist parties around Europe, the UK, and probably elsewhere, and the rest of us, where freedom of speech means just that. Say the things Trump and his cronies want to hear, nothing else. The statement was made by a University of Toronto lecturer who was placed on leave as a result. There are several other examples of universities, mainly in the US, sacking their lecturers for being rude, terrible persons, regardless of any regard for freedom of research and speech, but see my aforementioned statement on the latter. Last one. His division has inspired generations of Democrats to slander their opponents as deplorables or fascists or Nazis. 2 seconds, folks. And 1, 2. His Trumpness.
That's okay.
The statement was made recently by a Republican White House spokesperson on comments from former President Obama, warning of a political crisis of the sort we haven't seen before in the wake of Captain Kirk's death, probably due to no intelligent life down in the US at present. Oh no, sorry, the other Kirk's death. That, ladies and gentlemen, brings us to the end of our quiz. Thank you so much for your final verdicts, His Trumpness.
That's okay.
You may leave us now, as we don't need you or your Republicans anymore.
You are a rude, terrible person.
Shoo shoo, the exit is over there.
You are a rude, terrible person.
Yes, you are repeating yourself, His Trumpness.
That's okay.
Well, you might as well stay then. So there you have it. If you, like me, think this is all rather bonkers, then we must take action. As per my previous video since Trump's second presidency, I have a few calls to action because yes, despite these troublesome times, we can make a bit of a difference. My first call to action. Stop buying Musk products. He meddles too much with our politics, trying to get right-wing extremist parties into power to advance his own agenda. One of selling inferior and potentially even dangerous products by getting his puppet governments to deregulate pretty much every act that is designed to protect us as consumers. Plus, he is a Trump crony. That is correct, His Trumpness.
That's You are a rude, terrible person.
Oh, sorry to hear. My second call to action. Don't enter an Office Depot branch anywhere in the world unless you want to have a debate on the reasons why they sacked staff for refusing to print Kirk Vigils posters. Also avoid ordering from Viking Direct, who Office Depot have acquired. My third call to action, use Linux instead of Microsloth. You actually get to learn something by installing and using this far superior operating system. My last call to action, don't visit any universities in the US and also Canada and possibly abroad if they don't unequivocally support freedom of speech on both sides of the apparent political spectrum. Just allowing offensive speeches to be made on one side of the political spectrum, as some US universities have recently allowed with Charlie Kirk as an example, will just not suffice, I'm afraid. Universities are supposed to encourage free thinking in all directions and, most importantly, support freedom of research and tuition. How can you do that if you sack your staff for doing your work, universities? That of fighting for that freedom. Remember, folks, these companies have only brought it onto themselves, and we as consumers can make them pay for it. Finally, if you wanted to contact President Trump directly with your opinions, it is your right after all, then send an email to president@thewhitehouse.gov.uk. Oh, has the UK claimed its former colony back again? Does Trump need to bow to King Charles III? Ah, no, sorry, spotted the error. Incorrect email address, apologies. The correct email address is president-forever@thewhitehouse.gov. Thank you for your attention, and hopefully you found this video useful.